welcome to the hey, it's none of your business challenge.
None of your business. None of your business. And I think it's important, right, that we acknowledge that so many dogs think everything is their business, and actually it's none of your business.
And it limits your freedom, and you find your world with your dog getting smaller and smaller and smaller over time, and you're spending more time in restriction than freedom. Now, first things first, below this video you're going to want to download this worksheet, and this worksheet allows you to grade experiences with your dog. Like, what would be a really difficult, hard experience for your dog to say, well, it's none of my business?
I would give you an example. So hers would be another dog barking at her on lead or off lead. That would be hard for her personally to say, that's none of my business. She's more likely to say, hey, you, what are you talking about? Like, why am I over here and you're over there? Let's go talk about this. Like, she'd kind of get involved and she'd be straight in there and interested. Whether that's good or bad, right? Like, she'd be interested. She'd find it a bit like of a nosy situation. And I think it's important to acknowledge what would be difficult for our dogs. Blink would be water. So if she saw water, she'd be diving in the water and you struggle to get her out of it. What about one of your dogs, Tom?
For example, Casino would find it really difficult if they were similarly water, but she would want to like that water bowl. She would want that to be her business. She would want to be splashing in it and digging in it, right? Equally, you know, for example, Bet when she was younger, a sheep or a squirrel or, you know, something that runs really fast.
I would say a young dog that we've been working with, hers would be chasing skateboards or people, or just going over to generally say hi. Maybe you've got a dog that's similar who just wants to say hi. And actually, that is really none of their business, especially when that person they want to say hi to really doesn't want to speak to them.
Yeah. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to fill in your worksheet. So you're going to go easy. What would be an easy experience to start teaching your dog? That's none of your business. Then we've got the medium difficulty ones. Then we've got the really tricky ones that are the real life ones that we're going to work towards. What we're going to be doing across 3 lessons is we're going to be teaching your dog really the 3 important lessons for your dog. And that is, firstly, actually, sometimes I'm going to give you permission to interact with things. I'm going to say you can interact with that. That's what we're going to be doing in today's lesson. In the second lesson, they're going to learn actually there's value in ignoring things. Like, it's loads of fun to just ignore things and leave them be. And then in the third lesson, we're going to be making it real life. We're going to be upping the ante. We're going to be thinking about real life distractions, and we're going to be integrating it all to achieve your dog owning dream for you and your dog. And ultimately, that's what we do in our Games Club. And the Games Club is like, you can think of it like the Games Vault of, you know, like you log into Netflix, you see the TV shows and you see all the, you know, different things you can watch. That's what Games Club's like. You know, there might be a lesson on stopping your dog from jumping up. There might be a whole course on stopping your dog from pulling on lead.
There might be a lesson on how to actually interact with your dog and play with your dog. Maybe how to get your dog food motivated. I can tell you now that 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, the picture for her was a very different picture than the picture you see today. And that's all through games-based dog training that are basically honed and all found within the Games Club. So we show everything we do at every level so that you can get the same results that we do.
Yeah. And what you're getting within this challenge is almost like a little glimpse into the life that you could be living if you were in the Games Club, right? Which anybody in the world can take part in. There are over 8,000 people.
And let's be honest, they do, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've got people in there from Singapore, Australia, New Zealand, Devon in the UK, literally all over the world, Europe, America, they are in the Games Club.
So download your worksheet. We're going to be diving into the first bit of practical teaching, which is going to teach your dog that sometimes you're going to give them or grant them permission, and sometimes they have to ask for it, and that is through teaching them a word. So with that, guys, let's head to some practical teaching. Okay, so we're gonna teach your dog the word that they can go and get something, okay? And we're gonna start that by using a food bowl, your dog's daily food allowance, and your dog needs to be wearing a collar or a harness.
Now, the exciting thing is we're asked all the time, can you show us with a dog that you've never trained this before? And today we're going to do exactly that. We've never trained this, and we're showing you with a dog that we've never trained this before. So I think that's pretty darn cool for you.
Now, what you need to do is you need to have your dog and you need to have the bowl. And all you're going to do is pop a finger through your dog's collar or harness, and you're going to pop stuff in the bowl. You're going to say the word that you want to teach as the permission word, and then you're going to pause for a brief second and then let go of the collar.
Good girl, super girl.
So we'll show you that one again.
Get it.
Good.
girl.
And there's that tiny pause between saying the word and letting go.
Get it.
Good.
girl.
And what we're looking for, and you might see it this time, is the twitch when you say the
Get
word.
it.
Yeah, you see that?
girl.
So you can see that she's starting to understand. They pick this up so quickly.
Get it.
Good.
girl. Super dog. Get it.
Yeah.
girl. Very nice. I even got stomp there.
Oh, look.
Little stompy
She's
feet.
ready.
Stompy feet.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we think that they understand the word, okay? So we want them to start to wait for the word. Now we're going to not have them in a restraint. So we're going to not hold on to their collar or harness. And if they go, when we let go of the harness, we're just going to cover the food in the bowl. So we're going to cage the food in the bowl.
Okay, so I'm going to pop my food in. I'm letting go of my collar. Get it. Good girl.
Yeah.
That was really super.
Now, if she had gone without waiting for permission, then we would have just
Get it! Good girl. I have to say, what I really like, Tom, is the fact that she does the little stomp.
Yeah.
So she does a real
She's like
little,
waiting. She's like, that word's important.
It's important to me. I've run out of food. Where is the food? Let's have
Here
a
is
little
the
bit
food.
more. So a little bit more food in here. And this is just part of her daily dinner. Remember, this is just part of her daily food. So like Tom said, if she just goes forwards, she's actually being really super here. But if she did decide to dive forward, and she hasn't done this before, but she has played lots of the games that we play, and she does know games. Yes, you like games, don't you? They're very fun. And so I'm popping the food in. I'm letting go of the collar. Get it? Good girl. That was really clever. One more. Popping the food in. Get it? Love the stompy feet. Super stompy feet. They're
And guys,
super.
don't worry if your dog takes a little bit longer to figure it out. If they want to go for it, if they go to the bowl without you giving them permission, you're just going to pop your hand, you're just going to cage the food in the bowl. When they back off and pause,
Get
then
it?
you're going to say your word.
Oh, super girl.
Okay, so we've now got a dog that understands that that word means that they can go and interact with the bowl. We've also got a dog that is waiting for that word. What we've now got to do is actually say, well, how about if I stand up and I'm not stood right, sat right next to the bowl? So let's try it. Let's stand up.
This is another level, and so many people think that because a dog does it one way, that they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So actually, let's warm it up again. So we're going to pop the food in. Get it? Good girl. Super dog. Ready? Get it? Good girl. Super dog. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Get it? Good girl. Very clever. We're going to try this one. Nice. Get it? Good girl. That was super. Very, very clever. 3, 2, 1. Nice. Get it? Good girl. Last one. Standing up this time.
Oh, wow. Shoulders back.
Get it? You can see the little twitch coming in as well. Katie.
Awesome job. So, guys, whatever word you choose to use as your kind of permission word, the cool thing is you could have 5 different words. It could be absolutely anything. It could be okay, go. Sometimes we say free. Sometimes we say break.
Literally your release cue to suit you and how you want to use it in the future. Think about any place that a release cue might be useful, and that's what we want to help you teach.
Okay, so your dog now understands the word, understands about the bowl and not interacting unless they hear the word. We're excited. And now what we're going to do is actually think about swapping out the bowl for different experiences, because ultimately we want this word or words, depending on what you're going to teach, we want them to be used in life generally. So what we're going to do is we're going to warm up exactly the same, but with a ball instead. Now, we're using a ball because, well, she likes tennis balls. They're very, very fun for her. They're a great experience. But for your dog, it might be something else entirely.
Get it? Good girl. Katie, 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 Katie. Good girl. That was super. Ready, steady. Get it? Good girl.
Yeah.
Katie.
And it's really important that as you're changing the items up, that you start from level 1 again and build up.
Get it? Good girl.
And when you start to see the little twitch, that
Good
means
girl.
that then, okay, we're now understanding the word. This is really good.
Good girl. Ready? 2, 1. Get it? Good girl. Super girl, Katie.
She's like,
Get it, get it, get it, get it. I know, there's nice things
I
around.
think there was a bit,
There's
she
lots of
spat a bit
nice
of food
things
out and then
around.
decided to eat it.
Okay, come here. So what I would start to do from that, just like we did in the last game, is actually test whether it's always fun. And this is good for you to see us. There's food in one hand, there's toys in the other. There's lots of bits to kind of get hold of. So there's different sort of strategies here. And I'm also trying to get her to show it fairly easily for you. So I'm using my bed to get her to come back to with a toy, and I'm using my food to reward her for coming back to the bed. So behind the scenes, you're seeing a lot of like the mechanics that we do in dog training, and I think it's important to acknowledge those because they're not always easy. Sometimes we are all fingers and thumbs. So we're going to do this one this time, and I'm actually going to see if I can let go of the collar.
And if we have to cage it, we'll cage it.
I need to move myself. Get it! That's super! Good girl, Kate.
I love this because before we played the bowl game, there is no way that she would have been able to, that she would have known to do that or wanted to do that, right? So we're seeing proper learning going on.
Get it!
Yeah!
Good girl. What a good puppy. Good girl, Katie dog. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Last one. Ready? And I might just try and stand up while I'm doing this one.
Ooh.
Why not stage it up, eh? Get it! You're a good dog, Katie. Good girl. Super girl. Super
Awesome
girl.
stuff. So guys, it might be a tennis ball for your dog, it might be a different toy, it might be something else entirely. The point is we're now swapping out the bowl for different experiences and seeing that we can still get that permission-based game going on. Okay, so we're now growing this out even further and saying, you know what, permission applies to all kinds of experiences. And the one that we're going to use is a doorway.
Now,
okay?
let's be honest, doorways are problematic for lots of dogs and lots of people. Certainly dogs like this little dog here who find everything quite exciting, would like to bark at things, can sometimes worry about things.
Yeah.
You know what, doorways can be a sort of centre of energy and things that are going to happen, people coming in, people going out. It could be that your dog is worried about people leaving. It could be that your dog's worried about people arriving. Actually, doorways are known to be problematic.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to add another experience to this framework that we've created, and we're going to do it in exactly the same way. Now, it might sound a bit weird to be saying, get it, for a doorway, right? And going through a doorway. So instead, we might want to change the word up this time, and you can have multiple words as long as you teach them.
Panicky, I think, about changing a word. You know what? This is just a release cue. You can have lots of different release cues, and it's got to be purposeful and meaningful to the place that you're going to put it in. So, for example, I'm going to teach a new release cue for her. She's not learned this release cue before, and the release cue is going to be free. So we're going to use free, which means you can go through the doorway, right? I don't think it's appropriate we use get it because that's not really the right space for a get it, and it doesn't really signify that to me. And also, I look odd. That would be weird. And also, we don't want that energy. We're looking for a slightly different energy. So actually, with this release cue, we're looking for a slightly different, a slightly calmer energy, right?
So with that, let's work through the stages, but with the door. Now, little recap on the stages. We're going to do the finger through collar stage, priming that word with the door open. This time, instead of caging the food or the toy, if she were to go through it, instead what we would think about doing
Helpful door.
is potentially just closing that door. That's how we're going to cage the experience if she were to try and go through it without the cue.
You absolutely can reinforce your dog for staying here, but long term, the reinforcement is being able to release through with you and having that variety in the schedule. But that's not to say you can't reward some level of doorway here if needed.
100%.
Correct?
So with that, let's have a little go. Okay, so step one, we're going to have finger through collar. We are going to open that door. We're going to say our word and we're going to let go.
Good girl.
Yay!
Super girl. Very nice.
Really good.
Very nice.
Okay, let's see that one again.
Free. Good girl. She's like,
And you can
really
prompt
good
her through.
girl.
Sometimes, especially when, in the framework of the game, the dog might be like, oh, I'll just stick with you because you know what, you're loads of fun. So you might throw a bit of food in through there to kind of teach that it means go through the door.
Loading with food, loading with food. Nice. Nice. Free. Good girl. And I timed that slightly badly there, I'll be honest. As I was there, I said the word and let go of the collar at the same time. It's good to notice when you do something wrong mechanically. It's not bad. It's not terrible. We're not all perfect. Absolutely okay to get your timing wrong. So I'm going to hold the collar. Free. Good girl. Super dog. Nice. Very nice. I know you can hear lots of fun down there. It's lots of fun. Ready? Free. Good girl. Super girl. Very clever.
Brilliant. So we've established the first stage. Now the second stage is actually we're not going to have a finger through the collar. We're going to open the door and we're going to say our release word, and then we're going to kind of follow that up by a bit of food going through as we say that.
Free. Good girl. I threw it over the edge. Never mind. We're going to try it again. You lost it over the edge. We lost it over the edge. That's really nice.
So again, we're
That's
going to
really
open
nice.
that door. Oh, interesting. So we had an opportunity to almost cage the experience there. She's like, huh.
And if we need to, we can go back to the collar. So they'll just take a drink at that moment. And interestingly, when they do something like that and they do take a drink, I sometimes think there's just a moment of, I don't quite understand that. I just think I might go grab a drink for a second.
It's like a head scratch moment. It's like,
and we all have them, right?
Yeah.
And we do all have them.
Yeah.
I definitely think, she's taking a particularly long drink, I definitely think, and we could easily cut these things out. So we could easily say, let's not actually show you this. But I genuinely think sometimes it's not that they desperately need to do that in that moment. It's just that moment of like pause and breathe and rethink it through.
Absolutely, yeah. So with that, let's open that up.
I know. It's hard. I know. That's a great decision. Nicely done. You can have that there. Good girl. Free. Good girl.
Yeah.
I think she was almost going anyway, but I thought that was a nice moment to still catch her.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes you've got to catch them. We'll do it again in a second. I'm going to reload with food. But what I definitely see here is that learning, that cogs, those sort of, and it's lovely that you're seeing it with a dog that has never done this before. And I think that's really important for you to acknowledge.
Yeah, and you get the opportunity to work on this. You know, we're showing you with a lot of different experiences. We've done food bowl, we've done toy, we've done door, and you then get this framework that you get to expand generally to life.
Okay, so we're ready for our next round. We're going to open, and I think if she goes straight into that, I might even just give her a fraction of a hand there. It would help if the door was a fraction easier. Nice. I am going to reinforce that decision because I think that's a nice decision. And that's also a really nice decision. Free. Good girl. Very good girl. And I do think it's about picking your battles and picking your moments. So I think to pop her, very nice. I'm going to reward that. Really nice. Really nice. Free. Good girl.
Lovely.
Really super.
Really good.
Now, how cool was that? Like seeing progress and seeing fun progress, all built in a games-based way.
Now, your dog now knows how to effectively be told that they can go and interact with someone or something or some distraction or some exciting experience in the environment.
Effectively, you've got way more cue control or way more chance to say, hey, that's none of your business, when they actually understand, let's hang out and let's work together, and that's a permission-based thing. Yeah. You're suddenly having a whole new level of communication and conversation with your dog, and it feels, I have to say, quite empowering.
Yeah. But the thing is, in order for this to have real life impact on you, and really for you to actually be opening your dog's world up more and more each day rather than making it smaller more and more each day, what we need to think about is your dog needs to understand that ignoring things is cool. Ignoring things is actually something that they love doing. And when you've got that layer, then you can give them permission to go and interact with them. Now, the cool thing is that in the next lesson, that's exactly what we're going to be teaching. We're going to be teaching you a simple game that will allow you to teach your dog that actually ignoring things is a walk in the park.
In fact,
cool.
They actively seek things out to ignore. Like, hey, I'm ignoring that.
Yeah.
Like you'll see them
they love
like
it,
making
right?
a decision to go, got this. You don't need to worry about me. That is none of my business, and I'm aware of it.
So guys, if that sounds like something that your dog needs to learn, then you need to tune in for that next lesson in the It's None of Your Business challenge.
It's None of Your Business challenge.